Welcome to Worth Reviewing, and this is the all-new Vauxhall Corsa. Now, this new model is called the Corsa F, and it's got a bit of an interesting design because the front design makes the car look as if it's got a bit of an angry but sad and upset looking face. A bit like this. But the back end, however, does make the car look a bit timid, which I'm not too sure on. This Corsa is based on the same platform as the Peugeot 208, but it does look slightly hard to tell because the interior isn't as exciting, but it is much better than before. So like the Peugeot 208, it has the same 7-inch infotainment system as standard. This system is okay to use, although it's not the best in its class, but it does work with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is great to know. Below the screen is the climate control system. Now I know it's nothing to get excited about, but it is so nice to see and feel actual control knobs and buttons and dials, because a lot of cars these days have the climate control system integrated into the infotainment system, which can be an absolute nightmare to use while you're driving. So well done Vauxhall for keeping things nice and simple. Now here's something a little bit unusual, because ever since 2004, Vauxhall have hidden an Easter egg inside each Corsa, and in this model it's down here in the storage compartment. It's a shark. You know what? I feel quite sorry for the shark because it's done just over 2,000 miles without any water. You know what? Here we go. This shark can survive for many more miles now. There's some driving controls in front of the gear stick, although this is a low spec model, so some of the features are missing. And there's some more storage compartments and cup holders next to the handbrake. And for some reason, the Corsa only comes with half a glove box, which is a bit strange. Anyway, let's move to the back. So what is it like in the back of the Corsa? Well, there's not a bad amount of room if I'm honest. Some people might argue there's not a lot of leg room, but am I the sort of person that complains about legroom in the back of a Super Mini? Of course not. It's half expected from a car this size. Something I do like is these zips that go over the ISOFIX points, which stops crumbs and small bits falling down the gaps, which is a great idea. I like that a lot.
The boot isn't great as there's not many hooks or bits to keep your things in the back secure, but it does have 309 litres. And once the seats are folded down as a 60-40 split, there's 1,118 litres free.
Just over a year ago, I reviewed the previous generation Vauxhall Corsa, and if I'm honest with you, it wasn't the best car in its class. The steering felt a little bit vague, and it just wasn't very exciting. But this new Corsa, however, does feel much better than before. The steering still feels a little bit vague, so it's not the most exciting car to drive still, but it is much better. Now, I'm aware that not everyone is looking for a car that's fun and exciting to drive, because some people just want a car that's fine for around town and does the odd journey here and there. And for those reasons, the Corsa's not bad at doing. It does about 45 to 50 miles per gallon, and for around town, the Corsa's quite good because the steering's nice and light, which makes it easier to manoeuvre and park around tight spaces. The Corsa is available with a variety of petrol, diesel and electric powertrains, and this Corsa I'm driving happens to have the least powerful 1.2 litre naturally aspirated 3-cylinder petrol unit, which produces 74 brake horsepower and comes with a 5-speed manual gearbox. Now you might be thinking that sounds quite sluggish, but because this new Corsa is 100 kilograms lighter than the older Corsa, it makes this Corsa weigh at just under a tonne. So when you put your foot down, I mean, there is something there, but it's not particularly powerful. But that's not to say it's bad, because not everyone wants the most powerful engine. But if you're like me and you like a car with a bit more of a kick and a bit more fun at the corners, I'd recommend the 1.2 litre turbocharged 99 brake horsepower engine, which does give you a bit more power and it's a lot more bearable for longer journeys.
So the new Corsa is lighter than before, drives better and looks better as well, but there are some problems.
First of all, as you can hear, the engine is running and the aircon is switched off. If I turn the engine off and on again, the aircon automatically switches itself back on. Why would you want that? Apparently that's the way they all are. Now, to any young teenager who's looking at buying a Corsa, prepare to be disappointed. If I turn the traction control off by doing so on the infotainment system, there we go, it's now off. But as soon as you start driving, the traction control turns itself back on again within seconds. So how is any young driver going to impress the girls without doing proper wheel spins and handbrake turns? It's just a shame because you've got a proper handbrake there, but you can't use it for its full potential. And then there's the horn. How pony does that sound? It sounds like a clown horn. Imagine beeping at someone and telling them to get out of your way with that noise. They're not going to take you very seriously, are they? And then there's the price. Because the price of the Corsa starts at just over 16 grand and works its way up to just over 28 grand. And if you want the electric Corsa, which is called the Corsa E and comes with a 50 kilowatt hour battery, that starts at over 21 grand and works its way up to £30,000. 30 grand for a Corsa. I think if I was spending that much money on a Corsa, I would expect some sort of missile launcher and ejector seat, at the very least.
Just to let everyone know that at the time I filmed my review, the Corsa was priced at just over 16.5 grand. The price of the Corsa has now changed and Vauxhall are now offering £1,000 off some of their new models, including the Corsa, from the 5th to the 14th of March 2021.
So, is the Vauxhall Corsa worth reviewing? Unfortunately not. The problem is because Vauxhall have raised the price tag of the Corsa, so it's now in the same sort of price range as a Ford Fiesta, a Renault Clio or a Seat Ibiza, which are all great handling super minis and feel a lot more entertaining to drive and the interior feels a lot more refined. But when you compare that to a Corsa, it doesn't feel as fun to drive, the interior isn't as good looking, and that's why it didn't seem worth it. As much as I'd love to say to you, get the Vauxhall Corsa, it's a brilliant car. It's not a bad car at all. It's a massive improvement than before, but it's just not as well priced as it used to be. I hope you've enjoyed watching this review, and if you did, let me know what you think down below in the comments. And if you want to see more reviews like this, subscribe to me up here. Thank you all very much for watching.